Hi everyone, I'm Alex Levin. We're here through Sun and Moon Yoga Studios YouTube portal. Hi Mary Beth, thanks for chatting and letting us know we're here. You're here. I'm at my brother's and his family's home in Costa Rica. Their beautiful backyard and the orchids behind me. Annika has joined us over here on the outdoor lanai. And so I know Nina might join us later, and sometimes Linda's here, and Catherine and Kevin. So glad you're joining us this morning. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. every week. Please also check out our website for all the offerings we have in person, in recordings, and Zoom, or remotely like this in YouTube. So do see what's coming up. We've got some of our visiting master teachers coming to see us again. Doug Keller, Teresa Murphy might be on the schedule. So check that out. And I'm here each week, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, as I mentioned. And I won't be, usually I have, in the past few years, I've been here every Sunday, even if the studio was closed. But now I'm going to follow the studio's schedule for now. And if our studio's closed, which will be not for a few months, and I won't be broadcasting. So get what you need. Have your quiet space, cushions, shawls, maybe a glass of water nearby. And let's start to settle. I'm going to start with the mini movement part today. Micro movement. Let's settling. Let's feel the ground. Let's use our body to feel the ground. Where is it? You can touch with your hands. Our feet might be feeling the ground. You might do this first part standing if you like. I'm going to choose sitting. If your body's lying down, a lot of your surface body is touching the ground. How does it feel through your hips, through your shoulders, through your hands and feet? As we start feeling the ground, we're sort of becoming, in a way, more still. Maybe not perfectly still, but we're getting more still and quiet to zoom in on how we're sensing that solidness underneath us. With different textures, the parts under my pelvis is a softer cushion, and under the tops of my legs, the part under my feet and shins is the harder terracotta tile. And even if I had never seen it before, if I had been blind to the forms, I can feel through my skin and through the information coming into my bones, which is not separate from the gravity, this invisible field that's holding us to the earth. Wow, the wind is something. The wind has knocked over the orchid behind me. You might be noticing that you're feeling your breath, like the wind behind us, as if the earth breathing or making its breath known to us, her breath known to us. We're listening. We're listening with every cell of our body as well as with our ears. And now, we've been just grounding. Let the right side of your body get heavier. How do you do that? Let the right side of your body, like if you're sitting, through the sits bone, through the hip. I'm making it a little more dramatic so you might even see it, but my shoulder lowers, the rib cage sinks. And then unweight it, let it get light. Let the right side of your body get light, buoyant. And then let the left side of the body get heavier. You could again do this standing, laying down, sitting, any position, any place that you find yourself on the planet right now. Sensing into breath, being right here. The heaviness, what happens when you intend for your body to be heavier on the left side? How does the arm play into this? How does the neck and the side of your head, the eyes perhaps? And then unweight that, so come back to where you have an even distribution of your weight, left side, right side. And perhaps what we notice is there are some unevennesses, even when we're trying to be even from side to side. And there's no problem with that. And let's do that again. Get heavier through, imagine just feeling to the base of your body. In my sitting position, it's the pelvis and right leg. If you're standing, it's the right foot, sole of your foot. But then slowly let the rest of the body join that heaviness, like a waterfall, like a gentle waterfall or maybe a powerful waterfall. Breathing, and as you breathe, noticing how the rest of the body, the left side, what it does. Does it become more buoyant, how it shifts? And when you're ready, and maybe another breath or two, or now, unweight, let that right side be less heavy, almost pouring the weight back over to the left side to more evenly distribute. Find where you're more evenly balanced, weight-wise, on the right and the left side. You might have noticed what I noticed in my body. It kind of poured over. The left side started getting heavier. But I'm equalizing it back, evening it out to right and left. And you might like just staying still, standing still at the middle. Or when you're ready, start to let the left side get heavier, just starting at the base. And see how that release downward starts to pull perhaps at the adjacent parts, at the other parts of the body, the waist, the ribs, the chest, the shoulder blade, the neck, the ear. Even if, as I look at my reflection in my recording, I don't see a difference, a little in the shoulder, letting it be heavier and noticing where the midline is, where the shift is, where the boundary between the right and left is, and how the right side might be a little more buoyant, or just how it's shifted its positioning. Locating ourselves, sort of mapping out with our attention and with our focus. There we are. Relaxing the belly, sensing the spine. And then when you're ready, come back to center. It might be now, might be in a few moments. Come back to center. Take the time to even out, not almost like a not doing, just inviting the redistribution toward balance, toward evenness between the right and left sides, hemispheres. And with this micro movement, the wisdom of this micro movement of bringing our attention to the quiet or the subtle or the less visited parts of ourself, of anything, starts to bring our focus right here and now. And so you may need very little, if any, adjustment to come to our meditation position, which, as you get ready for that, for the next 1 or 2 minutes, I'll just introduce our poem, inspiring poem. And I think very little comment from me will be necessary. So you're settling towards stillness, toward the meditation piece, as with my guidance. And you're welcoming what distractions, what concerns may be arising, like for me, the ache in my left hip, and how the question that comes after that, how will I uh, position that into this roughly 8-minute or 10-minute meditation coming up, so it will be not a distraction, but not, maybe it will still be achy throughout. It might be a mind storm that comes for you, some logistical distractions, some psychological concerns. And just going back to positioning, if you haven't found that total equilibrium yet, you might feel front and back as well as the side to side that we've been working with. And let the breath, let a little of your attention call in the feel of the breath as you feel it inside you, as you're aware of it, that it moves outside the limits of your body and back in, like I'm so reminded by the wind, the blustery wind this morning around me. You might be aware of it back at home by the heat kicking in, as I think it's pretty cold back home in Virginia. And the poem I'm going to read from you, Jackie made me aware of it a few weeks ago. It's David White commenting on a poem by David Wagoner, who is a teacher, a professor, I believe, in the Northwest, maybe Washington State. And this poem is inspired by some of the native peoples there and their attention to the nature around them. You can find this commentary on YouTube if you look for David White and Lost. The poem, yes, is called Lost. I'll recite the poem, and right after that, we'll start our 8, 9, 10 minutes of meditation. I don't have my bell with me, so the end of the poem, the silence at the end of the poem, will be the beginning of the stillness. Lost by David Wagoner. Stand still. The trees ahead and the bushes beside you are not lost. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger, must ask permission to know it and be known. The forest breathes. Listen, it answers. I have made this place around you. If you leave it, you may come back again, saying, here. No two trees are the same to raven, no two branches are the same to wren. And if what a tree or a bush does is lost on you, you are surely lost. Stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. stand still. The forest knows where you are. You must let it find you. So come into your stillness of the meditation. Perhaps adjusting arms, hands, just tiny adjustments of the spine. Perhaps letting your weight get a little weightier, a little heavier, and letting that be met with the buoyancy, the partner of gravity, levity. Perhaps relaxing the jaw a little bit more. Simply listening. Sensing the here-ness that you can always come back to. Here. And letting your surroundings, whether it's forest, raven, branch, wind, walls, running commentary of your mind or your heart, the creaks in your joints. Then bring you back here. Over and over you may find yourself lost or meandering. Over and over remind yourself there's no problem with that. Come back again, saying, here. perhaps noting that you might let some enjoyment into this process. Noting if there are any unnecessary struggles happening and how simply opening the hand, a movement as easy as opening your hand, can let them go. Perhaps some of the poems, some of the words, and the poetic combination, the feel, the felt sense of what the poem uh, elicited or inspired in you. Perhaps that can help guide you back to here, to being not lost. Another handful of breaths together in our meditation. Wherever you are is called here, and you must treat it as a powerful stranger. You must ask permission to know it and be known. So now sliding out of this stillness of 9 minutes or so, noting transition. Of course, you're free to stay longer, but noting the transitions is powerful. With the palms together at the heart, we can note the transition and bowing to ourselves, to each other, signifying the end of the meditation part, signifying, notice what you feel it's signifying for you, what the bow indicates, connotes. Thank you so much for joining me today, each time, or even on the recording later. It's my joy to share this with you weekly. And I'll pass along what my teacher recommends, and teachers, many do, of memorizing, knowing by heart a poem. I'm working on this one, this lost one. It's one of in my bucket of favorites now. There's a there's an alchemy that happens when you memorize a poem and feel feel it. It grows with you, on you, and the meaning of it reverberates. So I highly recommend that. Russell suggests put it on a piece of paper uh, and carry it around on your in your pocket, or I put it on a in the note function in my phone, and I can glance at it through the day to modernize that practice. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Next week I should be with you from my home, sadly and unhappily mixed. So enjoy. I can't see the running chat, but I could probably see it on the re-recording. So thanks again for joining me. Have a wonderful day, the rest of your day, and stand still often.